Hello, and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this Fanta Rich Apple from Japan, which you definitely aren't surprised at this point to hear that we got at a local anime convention, unless you have not seen any of our other imported soda reviews, uh, because that's where we got all of them, at least so far. We will get through them all eventually, um, but we haven't yet. This one I'm pretty sure we got from the Pete's Pops booth. Um, I'll link that below. And yeah, well, we thought it was Fanta Red Apple, but we actually checked it as Fanta Rich Apple. Clearly, the apples they're evoking on the can are invoking, whichever is correct. Maybe both. Uh, but they're red. But it does on this label actually say rich apple, and we looked it up, and that's what it's supposed to be. So, what is this? What's in here? Um, Carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, slash flavoring. That one's a little weird. Acidulant, citric acid, and then in parentheses E330. Okay. Um, Caramel coloring E150A. I'm guessing that's some type of Japanese registration thing. Or maybe it has to do with some type of manufacturing process code. I haven't seen that before. And preservative, which it says is sodium benzoate, which it says is E211. Okay, so this is actually the first time we've had a can of this size on the channel. This is a half-liter can, which I know is 16.9 ounces. Nice. Because of bottled water. Because we have a lot of that here. Something, something, America, something, something, water supply. Um, it's 49 calories per 100 milliliters, so that's similar to an American Fanta orange or grape, although we do not have a rich apple flavor here. We used to have apple, which I believe used similar red apple branding, but it's just apple, where this is rich apple. I've never had that one, and unfortunately, it is no longer available. So I can't really compare to it, but I do imagine it would be at least a bit different. Notably, the opening here, the tab on the back is very flat instead of being rounded, and does not have those sharp corners like I am used to. And also, the can opening is narrower instead of being that kind of wide oval shape. So, also, this has arrows and text on the top of it, which I think are instructions on how to open the can, but I'm not certain. That is a lot of pressure. Okay, I'm glad that didn't explode. Once I have started opening it, we cannot retake it because we don't have another one. I am mentally expecting the approximate color of apple juice, but I don't know if that's what we're going to get. It looks like it is. I can smell it already. Okay. That is approximately the color of apple juice. I think it's a bit clearer than most of the apple juice I've had in my life. Um, let's get another hint of that smell. I can smell it a little bit, but okay. I think I'm getting like an apple candy from that. I definitely am. I'm used to, oddly enough, caramel apple candy more than just plain apple. Um, I feel like most apple type candy that I've had that isn't caramel apple is green apple, which is, obviously a bit more sour and tart than a red apple. But I'm not sure if I'm getting the caramel or if I'm just imagining that because of, well, eating too many caramel apple candies. Probably not too many. I haven't had that many of them. It's just that red apple's not a super common candy flavor here. I don't think I'm actually getting any caramel in that. I think I'm imagining that. Yeah, we'll see what it tastes like. Based on the smell, I'm expecting kind of a candy like appley flavor. I don't think this lists any juice content. Um, Not unless it's in the flavoring, and I would think they would specifically list apple juice. So I guess I'm expecting more artificial apple at this point. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm getting here. It tastes kind of like an apple, but it's not as crisp and fresh. Crisp taste wise, not crisp literally. Of course, it's a liquid. It's not crispy. Um, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's fine. I don't know if I would say it's a particularly rich apple flavor. It's just kind of apple flavor. For most things, I get pedantic at times. I would probably say something about it being rich apple most of the time. But with Fanta in particular, I find that usually it's just Fanta name of fruit. Although I think in some places they do have like a Fanta tropical, which is obviously, tropical is not a fruit, it's kind of fruit or a place. But Fanta adjective fruit is not typical, at least from what I've seen both um, in US Fantas and also in the Japanese Fantas that we've done on the channel, and also in um, other various Fantas from around the world. that we've seen doing research on some of the Fantas that we have done. Um, the only one I can think of that isn't Fanta Tropical, that isn't just a fruit name, is the Fanta Classic, which was a rerun of the original Fanta that was made by the Nazis and was terrible because Nazis don't make good things. Um, the like German Nazis, to be clear, not the American ones. Um, and obviously that was uh, a bad idea. Uh, like, why would you? Apparently, the original stuff wasn't even good. Like, why? But regardless, um, I'm not aware of any other case where it's Fanta adjective fruit, where the adjective is not a color. Um, we've done Fanta white peach, Fanta golden grape is upcoming. Those are both also Japanese imports. Um, I guess there's Fanta berry, but like berry is a fruit. It's just not a specific fruit. It's a kind of fruit. Fun fact: a banana is a type of berry, and I thought of that because it occurred to me that Fanta banana would be interesting. I don't know why I thought that. All that to say, I'm not sure why they've decided to call it Fanta Rich Apple instead of just Fanta Apple or Fanta Red Apple. Maybe I'm an idiot and Rich Apple is a kind of apple and I just don't know that. That's possible. Um, I didn't think about it enough before we started to look that up, but that's possible. Um, yeah. On to the flavor, though. We're back to the flavor. We're talking about the flavor. Um, the flavor of this, not the tumbler drink. Um, yeah, it's fine, I guess. It does taste kind of like an apple. I'd say the flavor is closer to an apple than it is to apple juice. Um, but it's sweeter and it's not as like fresh and crispy taste wise. And I don't think it's as good as just eating an apple. Um, it's quite different from apple juice, but I also don't think it's as good as apple juice. Um, it's too it's too sweet, I think. Not that it's terribly sweet. It's just it's a soda. It's it's made of sugar and flavor, or well, sugar or sugar substitute and flavor. In this case, they are using high fructose corn syrup, which is a sugar. Um, but I was mostly talking about something like aspartame or stevia. Um, Actually, is stevia technically a kind of sugar? I don't think so. But I know it does. It is a natural sweetener. It's just not any good, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I would say if you like the taste of apples, but you don't like actually eating apples for whatever reason, and also you want it to be sweeter, and also you want it to be duller and less good, um, you'll probably love this. I don't I don't think I would want to make any of those changes to an apple. Um, but I like apples. If you don't like apples, you might like this better than an apple, I guess. But also, it tastes kind of like apples. So if you don't like apples, there's a solid chance that you would just rather drink something else. Um, Personally, I prefer Cosmic Crisp apples. I think they're very good. Um, that's definitely a tangent. Um, Although it does make me think, if you were to try lots of different types of apples, you might be able to find an apple that is pretty close to this in flavor because different apples taste pretty different. I think if I had an actual apple in front of me that tasted exactly like this, I think I would be disappointed with that apple. That said, I don't think this is awful. I think it's just fine. Um, I do think if they put just a little bit of apple juice in this, even 1 to 2%, um, like I know they do with Fanta of some flavors in some markets, I think it would probably be better. I also think it would drastically change the flavor profile. Um, to be less like an apple and more like an apple juice. Um, but I also think then they could probably pull a little bit of the sugar out of it, and that would probably improve the flavor. But they didn't do that. They made this, or well, what was in this glass. Um, they made this. There's still a little bit in here, and so I do think I am gonna have to give it an okay.